Hi everyone, I'm Rob McCall and welcome to LMC Sports Pulse. Alongside me is Marty McFly, you guys might know him as Matt Stallknecht, and this week we'll be talking about baseball, Lemoyne's upcoming lacrosse season, a little bit of Cuse basketball, and some NASCAR news. Matt, let's dive in with Dolphin Nation.
Yeah, I agree. I think that'd be a great idea. Men's basketball was easily taken down by 16th-ranked Southern Connecticut State, 97-75 on Saturday. Nate Gauss put up his third straight triple-double in the loss. This is the fourth time Lemoyne has fallen to Southern Connecticut. On Tuesday, the men also fell to New Haven on a buzzer-beating layup by New Haven's Jeffrey Adkins with 1.1 seconds left in the game. With 3 games left in the season, the Dolphins can finish no lower than 4th place in the Southwest Division standings. Lemoyne is now 13-10 and 10-7 in the conference.
Turning now to the Lady Dolphins, junior guard Alex Marple continues to lead her team as she put up 23 points in overtime victory over Southern Connecticut. The Dolphins won 63-60, which was the first win at Southern Connecticut since 2002. On Tuesday, the Lady Dolphins clinched an NE10 championship berth for the first time since the 2008-2009 season with a victory over New Haven 71-63. Junior forward Emily Greer took the charge, recording her second double-double of the season on 19 points and a career-high 13 rebounds. I think we all need to congratulate them on a great season.
Woo! Love it. Now, shifting gears a bit, this Saturday, Lemoyne's men's lacrosse team will open its season at home versus Assumption. The defending Division II national champions have been selected by the league's 12 head coaches to win their 7th consecutive Northeast 10 Conference championship. Lemoyne, who went 9-2 in the conference and 18-2 overall last year, is returning 13 letter winners and 6 starters from last year's pod. The team scrimmaged against Hobart last Saturday, and junior defenseman Kyle Moyer was quoted as saying, "I think we played pretty well for the most part. Unofficially, we got the win, which was nice." In regard to the team's early season standing, Moyer went on to say, "I don't think there's any added pressure to win the Northeast 10 because winning the Northeast 10 is the expectation when you play at Lemoyne." Rob, what do you think?
I mean, I think they're totally right, but how do you think that this preseason ranking being noticed by the coaches, being noticed by a national stage, and having the pressure not just from fans and this national stage, how do you think it's going to affect the upcoming year?
I don't think it's going to affect this team. Every year, Lemoyne, everyone on this campus knows lacrosse team is going to be a challenger for the Northeast 10. We know that every season, and now we come to expect national championships. Is that fair? I don't know if I have the answer for that, but I think the key thing is this team is used to this pressure. The coaching staff is used to this pressure, and we have a lot of upperclassmen on this team that are used to this pressure too, so I don't think that's an issue.
All right. I mean, I think you're right. I think you're totally right. But let's talk about home opener, predictions against Assumption. What are you thinking?
Well, taking a look at my stat sheet here, Assumption 3-10 last season. Leading scorer Garrett Smith will be coming back. He's a junior. Great player out of him, but I don't think Lemoyne has too much to worry about. You know, they have to fight against that early season post-championship hangover and make sure they don't get too full of themselves. But, you know, I talked to the team. I think this team is their heads in the right places, so to speak. So I think Lemoyne takes this one 10-2 on Saturday. Lemoyne wins.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to win pretty handily here. Yeah. Just, 30 lettermen and 6 starters. There's just, they're a dynamic team, and I think the coaches and the team know that the hangover's over, I think, and I think everybody's pushing very hard.
Yeah,
so.
I don't think there was a hangover.
Yeah.
They drank a lot of water the night before.
All right, let's move into our segment on Cuse Nation. Matt, what do you got for us?
Well, let's see what's going on the road down to the Dome. Everyone's saying the streak continues. That's what everyone's saying after a string of key victories helped the team push their record to 23-0. Key wins in the past 2 weeks over Duke, Notre Dame, and Clemson have settled any fears over the Orange's ability to maintain their early season momentum. And now the #1 team in the land looks to keep that momentum heading into their final regular season games with an eye at a strong postseason run. However, an injury to big man by Keita as well as an ACC conference that is improving by the day remain as concerning factors for the Orange, leading many to question if the team can stay perfect heading into March. Rob, what do you think?
They're not going to stay perfect going into March. I mean, I just don't think they can pull it out. It's going to be tough if they do. More pressure going into a tournament. My question for you.
Yes.
By Keita's injury, depending on how long it lasts, whether it's a game or 2 or whatnot, how is that going to affect the team?
Well, first of all, by Keita, not a big scoring presence. We all know that. Everyone who follows these games know that. But look, 3.6 rebounds a game. That's not going away. That's important, whether you want to admit it or not. But the biggest thing we're losing with Keita is physicality in that 2-3 zone. He is a huge man. that he has the wingspan of an albatross. Okay, he takes up space down low. Teams do not want to have to push it in when he's down there. So that's what you're losing. It's that intangible aspect of his game that we're losing. And if Jeremy Grant and all of our other big men get into foul trouble, we don't really have that many people we can lean on.
Right.
So it's big, and we need to get him back.
Depth is definitely going to be an issue. I think you're getting at the right point there. Roberson, young guy.
Absolutely.
He hasn't had a lot of experience. And Christmas, the thing that worked well for Cuse is when Christmas had an off game, Keita had a game where he stepped it up, and vice versa. They kind of balanced each other out when they weren't perfectly consistent with each other. So that is going to be thrown off because Christmas can't be expected to perform every night. That's just not the kind of players, the big men they are. They're not point scorers, really. They're zone enforcers, if you want to say. Roberson, not a lot of experience. So all of this now, say Keita's out for a while or anything, just going into this ACC tournament, what are we looking at?
Well, you got to take a look at first two of the traditional perennial powerhouses in the ACC. You got UNC and Duke. Both of these teams got off to a little bit of a shaky start. Duke, not so much, but UNC got off to a shaky start to the season. Injuries are piling up. Some key wins that they beat Michigan State, but they were all over the place. They lost to Belmont at one point earlier this season.
Right.
So no one was really sure what to make of this UNC team until 2 weeks ago. They've been on a roll. So is Duke. If you look at the basketball power index that ESPN offers from the past 2 weeks, UNC number 1, Duke number 2. These teams are hot. They are not going away. And Roy Williams at UNC and Mike Krzyzewski over at Duke, they build these teams for the postseason.
Yeah.
These teams are going to be coming in strong. And Syracuse might not be having any losses coming into the postseason. I don't know if they have the adversity that these teams have faced.
Tough game coming up at Duke, but the UNC Duke game did just get pushed, and now that Duke game is 2 days away from the Cuse game.
Yep.
So saying Cuse is undefeated, now you got Duke coming in on only 2 days of rest. Could be a factor, could not be. I mean, it's Duke, it's Mike Krzyzewski.
Right.
You can't take that away. All right, let's move away from these local issues and let's get to the national pulse. Matt, I know you want to talk about some NASCAR, so.
I do want to talk about some NASCAR. Winner take all. That's the mantra that NASCAR is using to tout their new playoff system that will have sweeping effects on how the 2014 NASCAR Sprint Cup season will unfold. With the season opening Daytona 500 only a week away, the new playoff structure has been a major talking point in mainstream sports circles, much to the delight of NASCAR, who undoubtedly wants to drum up interest in the sport and the days leading up to the sport's biggest race. Under the new system, any driver who wins a race in the first 26 events of the season will be eligible for the chase, which, to the uninitiated, is NASCAR's version of the playoffs. Once in the chase, the drivers will be systematically eliminated in groups of 4 from playoff contention after every 3 races, culminating in a March Madness-style winner-take-all finale at Homestead Miami Speedway. Rob?
So a new format, based off the old one. How is this new structure going to affect the sport as a whole?
It's going to completely turn it on its head. I know a lot of people aren't as familiar with NASCAR. It's a mainstream sport, but it's in that kind of that golf, tennis, NHL kind of range. So the big thing is that winner-take-all finale. In the past, NASCAR was about consistency. You build as many points as you can over the course of the season. Now, of course, 10 years ago they instituted the chase where they did that, where they reset the points after the first 26 races so that the top 10 in points could fight it out over those last 10 races. But even then, consistency was always a factor. You were always pushing for good results, not necessarily for wins. Wins would be nice, but if you were running 7th, you really weren't trying that hard to get that extra spot because you know you can get a good points day. Now, it's all about wins. You have to win at all costs, and the further you get into the season, the more the intensity is ratcheted up. And that winner-take-all finale is like unlike anything NASCAR has ever done. It's like an actual Super Bowl. For the first time in NASCAR history, every single season is going to culminate in an actual championship, which is, I think, very good for the sport. But I'm more curious about what you think. You're a casual fan. You, Rob, are not someone who has known all that much about NASCAR as of recently. I don't mean that as an offense to you.
I'm just getting into the sport. I'm really just starting to discover it.
Exactly. So. You're the person that NASCAR wants to go after. You are that casual mainstream sports fan that flips the race on Sunday and says, I want to give this a shot. What are your thoughts on this winner-take-all, this championship, this elimination?
I like it. It's a push for winning, which everybody wants. Like, nobody wants to see, especially if you're a guy who's a favorite driver. I don't really necessarily have a favorite driver. I lean towards a Keselowski. I lean towards a Keselowski. I like him. He's great. He's a good dude. But I don't want to see him sit back and take a 4th-place victory when I know that he can make some moves and possibly get a 1st-place victory. Like, why would I want to watch that? Why would I want to watch him just take a 4 or a 7? I mean, you could get some points. I like this. I like it. And then you showed me the graphic that they have for this playoff system, and it looks like something I can grasp because it looks more mainstream. It looks like a bracket. It looks. I know it's not necessarily a bracket. It runs in a similar fashion, but now it's something I can grasp because every other sport that I know can be grasped by a bracket system, some sort of playoff culmination to a bracket. So I'm excited for that. But seeing as how I don't really know that much, so we're talking beginning of the season, Daytona 500.
Exactly.
From there to the end of the season, what are we looking for with changes?
As far as the changes go, basically what's going to happen is this. If you win one of those first 26 races in the season, it's a 36-race season that NASCAR, the Sprint Cup Series, offers. If you take a victory in one of those first 26 races, you automatically are into the chase. So there's 16 spots up for grabs if you are one of those 16 winners, and if there's less than 16 winners, they will take whoever's highest in points. You go into the first chase race, all the points are reset. You have a shot at the championship. After every 3 races, the lowest 4 in points are eliminated, and if you win a race in those 3 races, you automatically advance to the next round. So once again, winning matters.
Exactly.
You have to win to advance, or you got to rely on very high finishes. So there's 3 eliminations culminating in a final one after the 35th race. You got 4 guys going for that championship in Homestead, which we've never seen before.
So a lot of exciting things happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
So NASCAR season's about to get underway, and so is another season, and that's baseball. And as we know, spring is in the air when pitchers and catchers start reporting to spring training this week. Baseball season is just around the corner, and before the season can even start, big announcements came from Yankee organization. Derek Jeter reported that the 2014 season would be his final season on the diamond. Jeter played 17 games last year and will be turning 40 in June. Jeter has played all 19 years of his career under the Yankee logo, and after a year plagued by injury, has decided to hang up the cleats after trying to play one more full season wearing pinstripes. Matt, he's a baseball legend.
Yeah.
You know, how do you feel about it?
When I heard this, I felt it. Derek Jeter was the first baseball player that I ever identified with, I ever knew. I was living in Kalamazoo, Michigan, when Derek Jeter was getting big. He was my favorite player.
I mean, he is. I mean, he has become the face for a generation of baseball fans.
As a kid, when I was playing t-ball, when I was in Little League, I wanted to be Derek Jeter. He was the man.
Yeah. Who didn't try the Derek Jeter, off the back foot hop, throw?
Derek Jeter was who every kid our age wanted to be.
Right.
And I think that speaks to his legacy, which, you can build on this a little bit. What is he leaving behind on the field as far as his professional career? He obviously had the effect he did on us.
Right. As a professional, he's leaving behind a legacy of greatness for a great organization. I'm obviously a Red Sox fan, so I say that with a little bit of
still teeth crying.
Yeah, but you have to respect exactly what that man has done, and he's amazing. He's going to go down as one of the top 5 shortstops.
And he did it clean too. That's
the thing. He carried himself with such. He brought us back to the greats that made us worship baseball. Like growing up hearing baseball stories about Ted Williams and Babe Ruth and all these guys, they were legends because of the way they carried themselves on and off the field. They were gentlemen of the game, and that's exactly what Derek Jeter is. And I'm sad to see him send off, but I'm also not surprised. 40 years old, ankle injury last year, only played 17 games. I know this year he wants to play at least 100 games. He wants to have a full season. So for most players, that's 95, 100 games. He wants to play a full season. Health becoming an issue. I want to see him be sent off the right way, I guess is what I want to say. I want him to kind of, not necessarily go out on top by winning a World Series, because the Yankees don't need any more of those. They're fine. They can chill for a little bit. But I want to see him do well. I want to see him perform well in his last season.
The thing I keep looking at and I keep thinking about, and I'm stuck on, he did this clean. He played his whole career in the steroid era.
Yeah.
His contemporaries were juicing. And as
not
far as
all
we know,
of them, but not all of them.
Most of his contemporaries, the guys who he was competing against for Triple Crowns and everything, they were juicing, and it's good to see you know, a legend that we can confidently say won't have an asterisk next to his name in the record book.
He's gonna have a beautiful sign off, just like Mariano Rivera did, because they earned it, and I'm excited to see that happen.
Absolutely.
But I think we're gonna move now to the You Oughta Know segment. We're just gonna bring you stories you ought to know, and our You Oughta Know segment today comes out of Lemoyne. Tuesday, the Lemoyne's men's basketball team signed a new player. That player was 6-year-old Nathaniel Henry of Cazenovia, New York. Henry will be joining the team in the heart of the season. Nathaniel is involved with Team Impact, a nonprofit program that matches children facing life-threatening illnesses. Team Impact children are drafted onto local college athletic teams and, to the greatest extent possible, become official members of the team for the duration of the treatment and beyond. Henry was diagnosed with leukemia in 2012 and has been undergoing treatments for the disease at Golisano Children's Hospital since. Henry signed his letter of intent in front of an enthusiastic crowd who were undoubtedly happy to see Mr. Henry join the team. And I think that was just that was great. You obviously got to go. I unfortunately had class, but
I got to see the family. I got to see Nathaniel. What an awesome little kid.
Yeah.
I mean, very brave. I mean, I don't even know what to say. It's a really awesome story, and
it's great.
It's just awesome to see something like that. That's what you want to see.
It just gives you more insight to why we want to talk about sports. It's just this powerful thing that changes lives for a lot of people, and it's exciting to see our community become part of that. So
yeah, absolutely, man.
We're gonna sign off now. I'm Rob McCall. That's my buddy Matt Stallknecht. Thanks for watching the LMC Sports Pulse. We'll see you next week.
See ya.